We sense a soul in search of answers.
Give me a kiss to build a dream on in my imagination.
You know, it was only 2 days ago that I turned on my Xbox 360 and got ready for the last bit of expansion packs for Fallout New Vegas, and to be quite honest with you, I wasn't completely ready for what I was about to experience, because there were things promised, there were things that were expected, but ultimately what I got was so far from both of them that I had to sit back, look at it objectively, and really think to give you guys who love Blistered Thumbs and love these reviews an honest, professional opinion on exactly what you're going to get yourself into when you play Lonesome Road. This is supposed to be the last bit of Fallout New Vegas' downloadable content. So is it worth the purchase, or should you just skip it altogether? Let's have a look, shall we?
Ulysses walked a hard road. A general, like Caesar and Oliver. He was brown and stubborn, gave him strength on the battlefield.
As with any story that we've had so far in Fallout New Vegas that has come with these downloadable content packs, it all starts with a radio transmission. You hear something, you go somewhere, and the story starts. This story takes you to a place called the Divide, a place that has been ravaged by nuclear fire to the point where it's consistently storming, and there is absolutely no civilization within its walls. You've been brought there by a man named Ulysses, who has been seeking you out for years on end. Now, the reasons for this have never been answered so far, but you've seen hints of him in past DLC packs. The fact of the matter is that you've been called to this place for a reason that you don't understand yet. So it's time to go in and figure it out. If there's one way that I could describe the storyline for New Vegas' final DLC, it's different. It's got a different way of telling itself, meaning you've got to really look for the story here. And to be quite honest, there are points of it that are a little confusing. It almost seems like if you miss one single detail during the storyline, then you're not going to understand anything of what's going on. Be that as it may, the story is still pretty good. It's not the greatest thing you'll ever see in the Wasteland, but at the same time, it tells some interesting parts of the courier's past, where he came from, and things that he's done. And it also explores the idea of consequence within gaming. It kind of questions exactly why we pick up DLC packs. Why do we play video games? Why do we consistently get our characters into trouble when we could just as easily walk a different direction? So, in a way, it's got an odd method of reaching through the screen, figuratively speaking, of course, and into you, and having you just ask yourself questions of, why do I play video games? Why do I enjoy doing this? Why do I press the buttons, essentially? It's an interesting style of story, and that's really the only way I can put it. Presentation in Lonesome Road is more of the same in certain ways, but I'd like to think that there's some pretty good atmosphere here in the Divide. You see, you're walking through a nuclear wasteland that's worse than most anything else that you've seen thus far in the game. The sky is consistently cloudy, there's always storms going around, everything around you is irradiated, and it's really just a no man's land. There is no civilization, and it's honestly a little bit refreshing in comparison to the rest of the game. Fallout New Vegas is this game where the story is that civilization is coming to the wasteland again. People are starting to settle areas and things like that. And this is a realm that is so far from that it might as well be a polar opposite. So it's really interesting to look at it. It's got an arresting visual part to it. It's really neat. As for the sound design, it's the same as in New Vegas. You know, the guns sound great and everything like that. No need to go over that again. But one thing that I did pick up on, and that you're hearing in the background right now of this video, is that they reused some very specific tracks from Fallout 2's soundtrack to help set the mood for this area. If you play through the story, you'll understand why they used those specific notes. So, pay attention. Gameplay in Lonesome Road really isn't that much different than anything you've experienced, which is, of course, the tale of all downloadable content, but specifically here, there really isn't much to say. You can come into this downloadable content with any sort of a character build and be successful with it, and there's really no slant towards one or another. There were a few conversation options I couldn't get because I didn't have a high survival rate, but provided you are of a high level, you can play through this and get through it no problems. Granted, I would think that long-range combat, like if you're good with a sniper rifle, does have its advantages, but because you get a weapon that can detonate nuclear warheads from a distance, you should be okay. Also, there's a lot of stuff for you guys who love junk. Just those little odds and ends that you can get. There are different weapons. There's a new submachine gun. There's a new type of rocket launcher called Red Glare. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. And things of that nature. So, if you just buy these things for extra crap to bring into the wasteland and blow shit up with, you might enjoy this. All in all, when it comes to Lonesome Road, it's good. It's good for what it is. And what it is just an interesting way to look at the world of Fallout and look exactly at the career and look at yourself as a gamer and really understand that in the digital world around you, the people have tried to create a universe that is living and breathing. And to be quite honest, with all the great characterization and things like that you've experienced in Fallout from the first game until now, it really is an ever-changing world, and it really gives you that idea of it. Is this really a DLC that's for everyone? It's hard to say. My final score for Lonesome Road is a 8 out of 10. It is really good, but the thing is that I really think that you should try it out. My best advice would be to watch gameplay video of it, not the whole thing, and really get an idea of what's going on within it, and decide for yourself, is this something I want to spend my money on? For the full write-up, head to blisteredthumbs.net.